If you like anime and Breath of the Wild, well then, this game is exactly for you. And even if you don't, you should definitely try it. Genshin Impact is an open-world RPG free-to-play gacha game, or let's just say you don't pay with money. The game will take you on to breathtaking sceneries of beautiful landscape along with some fluid fighting mechanics. Well, at least in most parts, I just can't seem to grasp how to efficiently attack using a ranged weapon. There is so much content in this game that will literally get you hooked up as soon as you start. It can be a melee or range, play solo or co-op, fight mobs, bosses, explore, solve puzzles, craft gear, summon characters, build your team, fight more bosses, more puzzles, more powerful gear, more characters, and wait a minute, you will spend most of your time gliding, running, climbing hills, because it's an RPG game. What were you expecting? As most RPG games, the excruciating process of slowly grinding will be the core part of the gameplay, as you'd want to have a fully optimized characters that involves hours and hours of grinding to find a well-optimized gear for your character, to ascend them into greater heights and be able to one-shot enemies and fight the harder contents of the game to earn even better rewards, and of course have that satisfying feeling of pulling off an insane DPS that will leave you in a trance state that all of that grind for that moment was worth it. Now let's address the elephant in the room. A lot of people compare this game to something similar made by Nintendo, which is Zelda Breath of the Wild, and honestly I don't blame them. It is relatively similar and is not a bad comparison, as there are a lot of things that is similar to Breath of the Wild. You will not be surprised when you start playing the game of how oddly similar the two games are. You got the stamina feature that gets consumed when running, swimming, or climbing. You got the gliding feature, which also consumes stamina. You can also collect plants and wildlife for cooking that gives team-wide buffs, heal, or even revive a character when dead, which is important later in the game. And you can collect mob materials, which is important for improving stats of your character or even equipments. But unlike Breath of the Wild, Genshin Impact takes a unique spin on the combat system by implementing elements, kinda like Pokemon, or rather the new battle royale game called Spellbreak, where when elements are present, you can mix and match different elements that yield different results. It can give debuffs to enemies, deal status effects, or deal more damage to them. This mechanic is not limited only to the mobs, but this can also apply to you, so you also have to be wary, as enemies can have a native element with them and apply these effects to yourself. So in combat, as much as physical damage is important, keeping track of elements in your team and in enemies is also as important, and is even more evident when playing co-op or with friends, as there can be multiple characters and elements on the field. Speaking of co-op, you don't even have to worry if your friends have different platform, as it has crossplay on PC, console, and even mobile. And it even features a cross-save between PC and mobile, which is pretty neat and very accessible to people who wanted to play the game but is on the move every now and then. But you can't really do that right now because of travel ban, cause you know, Rona. This game is perfect if you are tired of your typical competitive games, or if you are just looking for a game to act as an icebreaker from your routine games. Since it is a gacha, and if you're not familiar, gacha is simply a game which you use a premium currency, in this case Primo Gems, to buy another currency to make a wish, to quote-unquote pull a hero, in which there is a chance in a pool of characters and equipments that you can get a character and have no way of specifically targeting a character. I mean, sure, there are events that increases the rate of pulling that character to help ease the RNG of you wanting to get that specific character. In this game, in my opinion, co-op is where fun starts, especially when playing with friends. As it is a gacha game, not everyone will have the same character or same progression, and when fighting mobs or doing dungeons, you and your team will either mop the floor or get absolutely destroyed. And sometimes there's that one guy that is absolutely cracked up that will literally carry your whole team. And if you're wondering, yes, I do play the game. And no, this is not a sponsored video. I am in no place to have that kind of privilege. I just want to share an honest opinion of the game. It has a little something for everyone. You can progress through the whole game without paying for anything and have access to everything, but as it is a gacha game, progression of free-to-play players would typically be a bit slower compared to people who pay. And it is not a bad thing. In my opinion, it's fine. It's just a matter of patience. You don't have to be the top player every time because you don't have to. And if you plan on spending money, it is also fine. It will give you a boost in progression, but remember that with enough time and grind, you will eventually reach a peak. And with this type of games, there is no definite peak or a be-all character or team build. The meta will always change. It doesn't have a high learning curve, you just play the game. And the best thing about it, if you are willing to grind it out, you will be rewarded, be it that you are a free-to-play or if you're willing to spend a few bucks. All the content of the game will be available for everyone, and I think that's the good part. So, if you are still wondering if you should play the game, I suggest that at least try it out. It never hurts to try new things out and broaden the things you enjoy. That is it for me. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you do, please do leave a like and subscribe, and I hope you would also enjoy the game. Till next time.